You're the wrong color for this family. Leave our beach house and never come back, Mr. Harrison had said 6 years ago while Kevin stood silent. Christmas at the Harrison Beach House. The family arrived to find the locks changed. A real estate agent met them outside, nervous. The property was sold 3 months ago to a private buyer. Mrs. Harrison screamed. Who? A Range Rover pulled up. Caitlin stepped out in summer designer wear. 3 children in matching beach outfits tumbled out behind her. Merry Christmas, Harrisons. I'm your new neighbor. She pointed to the mansion next door, twice the size. Actually, I bought both properties. You're trespassing. Kevin's legs gave out. His wife caught him. Kevin, those children look exactly like you. But before we dive into the full story, let me know where you're watching from and what time it is. Now, subscribe to the channel and let's get started. You are the wrong color for this family. Leave and never come back. Caitlin Brooks stood in the living room of the Harrison Beach House. She could not breathe. She looked at the woman who had just spoken those words. Mrs. Patricia Harrison stood 5 feet away. Her face was cold. Her arms were crossed. But this moment came later. 6 months earlier, everything was different. Caitlin sat in the corner booth of the coffee shop on Commonwealth Avenue in Boston. Her laptop was open. Her textbook was beside her. She had a computer science exam in 3 days. She had worked the morning shift at the diner. She smelled like pancakes and coffee. Her eyes hurt from lack of sleep. A man walked past her table carrying 2 cups of coffee. He tripped. Hot coffee spilled across her textbook. No, no, no! Caitlin grabbed her textbook. The pages were soaked. I am so sorry. The man put his cups down. He grabbed napkins. I am so sorry. I did not see that chair. I will buy you a new book. Caitlin looked up at him. He had light brown hair and blue-green eyes. He wore a button-down shirt and clean jeans. He looked nervous. This book costs $80, Caitlin said. The man's face went pale. I will pay for it, I promise. Let me at least buy you a new coffee. Caitlin looked at her ruined textbook. She looked at the man. He seemed sincere. Fine, she said. Black coffee, large. The man smiled with relief. I am Kevin Harrison. Caitlin Brooks. Kevin bought her a new coffee. Then he sat down across from her. Do you go to school here? Kevin asked. Community college, Caitlin said. I am studying computer science. That is impressive, Kevin said. I studied law. I hated it. Caitlin smiled a little. Why did you study it if you hated it? Kevin looked down at his coffee. My father wanted me to. He is a lawyer. He said I should be one too. Do you always do what your father wants? Caitlin asked. Kevin laughed, but it sounded sad. Most of the time, yes. They talked for 1 hour, then 2 hours. Kevin asked about her classes. Caitlin asked about his work. When Caitlin finally looked at her phone, it was 9 o'clock at night. I have to go, Caitlin said. I work the morning shift tomorrow. Can I see you again? Kevin asked. Caitlin hesitated. Kevin seemed kind. He seemed genuine. But Caitlin did not have time for distractions. She worked 3 jobs. She studied every night. Maybe, Caitlin said. Kevin smiled. I will take maybe. Kevin did see her again. He came to the coffee shop the next week. And the week after that. He always bought her coffee. He always asked about her day. After 1 month, he asked her on a real date. They went to a small Italian restaurant in the North End. Kevin paid. Caitlin felt uncomfortable about that, but Kevin insisted. You work 3 jobs and go to school, Kevin said. Let me buy you dinner. They walked through Boston Common after dinner. It was early spring. The trees were starting to bloom. Tell me about your family, Kevin said. Caitlin's chest tightened. My parents died in a car accident when I was 19. I do not have siblings. Kevin stopped walking. I am so sorry, Caitlin. It was 4 years ago, Caitlin said. I am okay now. But she was not okay. She missed them every day. She worked 3 jobs because she had no help. She studied alone because she had no one to celebrate her good grades with. Kevin took her hand. You are the strongest person I have ever met. Caitlin looked at him. No one had ever said that to her before. They kept seeing each other. 2 months became 3. 3 became 6. Kevin was kind. He was gentle. He listened when she talked. He brought her soup when she was sick. He helped her study for exams. Caitlin started to love him. 8 months after they met, Kevin drove Caitlin to his apartment. He seemed nervous. What is wrong? Caitlin asked. Kevin parked the car. He turned to her. I want you to meet my parents. Caitlin's heart jumped. Really? Yes, Kevin said. They have a beach house in Cape Cod. We go there every year before Christmas. I want you to come with me this weekend. Caitlin felt nervous and excited. Meeting his parents was a big step. Are you sure? Caitlin asked. I am sure, Kevin said. He took her hand. I love you, Caitlin. I want them to meet you. It was the first time Kevin said he loved her. Caitlin smiled. I love you too, she said. Caitlin spent the whole week preparing. She bought a new dress with money she saved from her waitressing job. It was a simple blue dress, but it was the nicest thing she owned. She baked chocolate chip cookies from her mother's recipe. She practiced what she would say. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Harrison. It is so nice to meet you. She said it 20 times in front of her bathroom mirror. On Saturday morning, Kevin picked her up. They drove to Cape Cod. It took 2 hours. Kevin held her hand the whole drive. They are going to love you, Kevin said. Do not worry. But Caitlin was worried. She knew Kevin came from money. She knew his father was a successful lawyer. She knew his mother came from an old Cape Cod family. Caitlin came from Dorchester. She worked at a diner. She lived in a tiny apartment with 3 roommates. When they arrived at the Harrison Beach House, Caitlin could not believe how big it was. It was not a house. It was a mansion. It had white columns and a huge front porch. The ocean was behind it. This is where you grew up? Caitlin asked. We spent summers here, Kevin said. Come on, they are waiting inside. Caitlin carried the container of cookies. Her hands shook. Kevin opened the front door. They walked into the living room. It had high ceilings and expensive furniture. Everything was white and cream and perfect. Mr. Douglas Harrison and Mrs. Patricia Harrison stood in the center of the room. Mr. Harrison was tall with silver hair. He wore a suit even though it was Saturday. Mrs. Harrison was thin and blonde. She wore pearls and a cold expression. They both stared at Caitlin. The room went completely silent. Caitlin smiled nervously. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Harrison. It is so nice to meet you. I brought cookies. Nobody spoke. Mrs. Harrison walked toward Caitlin slowly. She looked Caitlin up and down. Her eyes moved from Caitlin's face to her dress, to her shoes, and back to her face. You are the wrong color for this family, Mrs. Harrison said. Her voice was calm. She said it like she was commenting on the weather. Leave and never come back. Caitlin felt like someone had hit her. She looked at Kevin. He stood frozen. His mouth was open, but no words came out. Kevin? Caitlin said. Kevin said nothing. He looked at the floor. Mr. Harrison walked to the front door. He opened it wide. You need to leave our property, Mr. Harrison said. Now. Caitlin's eyes filled with tears. She put the container of cookies on the side table. She walked toward the door. She waited for Kevin to say something, to do something. Kevin stood silent. Caitlin walked out. She got into her car. She drove away. She cried so hard she had to pull over twice on the highway. That night, Kevin called her. "Caitlin, I am so sorry," Kevin said. His voice shook. "I did not expect that. I did not know they would react that way." "You said nothing," Caitlin said. She was still crying. "You stood there and said nothing." I know. I was in shock. I did not know what to do." "You should have defended me," Caitlin said. "You are right. I should have. I will fix this. I promise I will talk to them. I will make them understand." "When?" Caitlin asked. "Soon. I just need some time. Please, Caitlin, do not give up on us." Caitlin wanted to believe him. She loved him. "Okay," she said quietly. "I will wait." But Kevin did not fix it. 2 weeks passed. Kevin said he was still talking to his parents. 1 month passed. Kevin visited less often. He stopped staying over. He said he was busy with work. 2 months passed. Kevin stopped answering her calls as often. 3 months passed. Kevin stopped answering completely. His number was blocked. His social media was deleted. He was gone. Caitlin sat in her apartment alone. She felt broken. She felt stupid. She had loved him. She had believed him. She looked at the stick in her hand. 2 pink lines. Positive. She was pregnant. She had found out 2 weeks before Kevin disappeared. She had been waiting for the right time to tell him. Now there was no right time. There was no Kevin. Caitlin stared at the test. She made a decision. She would never tell him. She would raise this baby alone. She did not need Kevin Harrison. She did not need his family. She did not need anyone. She put her hand on her stomach. "It is just you and me," she whispered. But she did not know yet that it was not just 1 baby. It was 3. Caitlin made an appointment at the community health clinic on Blue Hill Avenue in Boston. She went on a Tuesday morning. She took the bus because she did not have a car. The clinic smelled like cleaning products and old magazines. A nurse called her name. Caitlin Brooks. Caitlin followed the nurse into a small exam room. The nurse took her blood pressure. She asked questions about Caitlin's medical history. "The doctor will be in soon," the nurse said. Caitlin sat alone on the exam table. Her hands were cold. She was 23 years old. She had no family. She had no boyfriend anymore. She worked 3 jobs just to pay rent. How was she going to have a baby? Dr. Ellen Reyes walked in. She was a short woman with kind eyes and gray hair. "Hello, Caitlin," Dr. Reyes said. "The nurse said you think you are pregnant." "I took a test. It was positive," Caitlin said. "Let us do an ultrasound to confirm and see how far along you are," Dr. Reyes said. Caitlin lay back on the table. Dr. Reyes put cold gel on her stomach. She moved the ultrasound wand across Caitlin's skin. The screen showed black and white shapes that Caitlin did not understand. Dr. Reyes stared at the screen for a long time. She moved the wand slowly. She did not speak. Caitlin's heart started beating faster. "Is something wrong?" Dr. Reyes smiled. "No, nothing is wrong. But I need to show you something." She turned the screen toward Caitlin. She pointed at 3 small shapes. "Those are heartbeats," Dr. Reyes said. "You are having triplets." Caitlin could not breathe. "What?" "3 babies," Dr. Reyes said. "You are about 8 weeks pregnant. All 3 heartbeats are strong and healthy." Caitlin stared at the screen. 3 babies. Not 1. 3. "Are you sure?" Caitlin whispered. "I am sure," Dr. Reyes said. "Congratulations." Caitlin did not feel congratulated. She felt terrified. Caitlin walked out of the clinic in a daze. She sat on a bench in Boston Common. It was October. The leaves were orange and red. People walked past her with their dogs and their coffee and their normal lives. 3 babies. Caitlin put her head in her hands. She wanted to cry, but no tears came. She was too shocked. She thought about Kevin. She thought about calling him. She pulled out her phone. His number was still blocked. She put her phone away. She would not beg him to come back. She would not tell him about the babies. He had made his choice. He chose his parents. He chose his comfortable life. He chose silence. Caitlin would choose herself. She would choose her babies. She stood up. She walked back to her apartment. She sat at her kitchen table. She took out a notebook. She made a list. Find better job. Save money. Learn more about coding. Sell apps. Build a business. Give these babies everything. Caitlin looked at the list. It seemed impossible, but she had survived losing her parents. She had put herself through college. She had survived Kevin's betrayal. She would survive this, too. Caitlin quit her waitressing jobs. She could not stand on her feet for 8 hours a day while pregnant with triplets. She kept one job doing data entry from home. She started taking online coding courses at night. She learned Python. She learned JavaScript. She learned how to build apps. Her stomach grew. She bought maternity clothes from thrift stores. She ate cheap food. She saved every dollar. She went to every prenatal appointment alone. Dr. Reyes was always kind. "Do you have support at home?" Dr. Reyes asked. "No," Caitlin said. "I am doing this alone." Dr. Reyes looked concerned. "Raising triplets is very difficult. Do you have friends who can help?" Caitlin shook her head. "I will figure it out." She always figured it out. By December, Caitlin could barely walk. Her belly was enormous. She worked from her couch because she could not sit at the table anymore. She coded until midnight. Her fingers hurt. Her back hurt. Everything hurt. On January 14th, Caitlin woke up at 4 in the morning. She felt a sharp pain in her stomach. Then another. Then another. Labor. She called a taxi. She grabbed the hospital bag she had packed weeks ago. The taxi driver drove fast through the empty Boston streets. Caitlin arrived at Boston Medical Center at 4:30 in the morning. A nurse put her in a wheelchair. They rushed her to the delivery room. "We are having these babies today," the nurse said. Caitlin had no one to call, no one to hold her hand. She went through labor alone. At 9:23 in the morning, Marcus was born. He cried immediately. He was small but loud. At 9:26, Mason was born. He was quiet. He looked around with wide eyes. At 9:29, Maya was born. She was the smallest. She had a full head of dark curly hair. The nurses cleaned the babies. They wrapped them in blankets. They placed Marcus in Caitlin's arms first. Caitlin looked at his face. He had light brown skin. He had tiny fingers. He had Kevin's eyes. She started crying. "Hello, Marcus," she whispered. "I am your mom." The nurses brought Mason, then Maya. Caitlin held all 3 of them. She looked at their faces. They were perfect. "I promise I will give you everything," Caitlin said. "I promise you will never feel like you are not enough." Caitlin brought the babies home to her tiny apartment 3 days later. She had 3 bassinets lined up in her bedroom. She had bottles and diapers and wipes. The first month was the hardest month of Caitlin's life. The babies cried in shifts. When one stopped, another started. Caitlin did not sleep. She fed them every 3 hours. She changed diapers constantly. She cried from exhaustion. But she did not give up. When the babies napped, Caitlin worked. She finished building her first app. It was a simple budgeting tool. She sold it on the App Store for $3. In the first month, 200 people bought it. $600. It was not much, but it was something. Caitlin kept building. She created a meal planning app. She sold it for $5. 1,000 people bought it in 2 months. $5,000. She kept going. By the time the triplets turned 1 year old, Caitlin had built 5 apps. She had made $30,000. She invested it in stocks. She learned about cryptocurrency. She researched tech startups. By the time the triplets turned 2, Caitlin had saved $75,000. She used $50,000 to start her own software development company. She called it Brooks Tech Solutions. She hired 3 other freelance developers. They worked remotely. Caitlin managed everything from her apartment, while the babies played on the floor around her. Her company grew. When Marcus, Mason, and Maya turned 2 years old, Caitlin sold her first small company to a larger tech firm. She made $500,000. She stared at her bank account. She could not believe it. She was not poor anymore. She moved out of her tiny apartment. She rented a 3-bedroom house in Quincy, just south of Boston. The triplets each got their own room. Caitlin invested most of the money. She started another company. This one was bigger. She developed software for small businesses. The company grew fast. But Caitlin needed help. She could not work and watch 3 toddlers at the same time. She interviewed nannies. Most of them seemed fine. But then Rosa Martinez walked through the door. Rosa was in her mid-40s. She had warm brown eyes and a kind smile. She sat on the floor with the triplets immediately. "Hello, little ones," Rosa said. "My name is Rosa. What are your names?" Marcus said, "Marcus." Mason said, "Mason." Maya hid behind Caitlin's leg. Rosa smiled at Maya. "It is okay to be shy. I am shy sometimes too." Maya peeked out. Caitlin hired Rosa that day. Rosa came to the house 5 days a week. She cooked, she cleaned, she played with the triplets. She sang to them in Spanish. She became family. "You are doing a good job, mija," Rosa told Caitlin one day. "These babies are happy and healthy. You should be proud." Caitlin felt tears in her eyes. No one had told her she was doing a good job in a long time. "Thank you, Rosa," Caitlin said. The years passed. Marcus, Mason, and Maya grew. They learned to walk. They learned to talk. Marcus was serious and protective. Mason was playful and energetic. Maya was quiet and artistic. Caitlin's company grew too. When the triplets turned 5 years old, a major tech firm offered to buy Brooks Tech Solutions for $8 million. Caitlin accepted. She was 28 years old. She was a millionaire. She had done it all alone. She sat at her kitchen table one night after the triplets went to bed. Rosa had gone home. The house was quiet. Caitlin thought about Kevin. She thought about his parents. She thought about the beach house in Cape Cod where they had thrown her out. She opened her laptop. She searched for real estate in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. She scrolled through listings, mansions, beach houses, estates. Then she saw it. The Harrison family beach house on Ocean Drive. For sale. Caitlin stared at the screen. Her heart beat faster. She clicked on the listing. She read every word. The house was being sold by Douglas Harrison. Financial difficulties, the listing said. Caitlin smiled. She called her real estate agent. "I want to buy a house in Cape Cod," Caitlin said, "and I want to buy it today." The real estate agent's name was Monica Chen. She worked for a luxury real estate firm in Boston. Caitlin had used her before when buying her house in Quincy. "Which property are you interested in?" Monica asked over the phone. "The Harrison Beach House on Ocean Drive in Cape Cod," Caitlin said. "It is listed for $2.3 million. I will pay cash, full asking price. I want to close in 2 weeks." Monica was quiet for a moment. "Cash? Are you sure?" "I am sure," Caitlin said, "and I want to see what other properties are available on that street." I will make some calls, Monica said. I will call you back in 1 hour. Caitlin hung up. She sat back in her chair. Her hands were shaking. She was really doing this. She was going back to Cape Cod. She was buying the house that had rejected her. 55 minutes later, Monica called back. The Harrison family accepted your offer, Monica said. They want to close as soon as possible. They seem desperate to sell. Good, Caitlin said. There is also a mansion next door to the Harrison property, Monica continued. It is larger, 4 bedrooms. It is listed for $3.1 million. It has been on the market for 6 months. Buy it, Caitlin said. Offer full price, cash. Caitlin, that is $5.4 million total. Are you certain? I am certain, Caitlin said. Make it happen. 2 weeks later, Caitlin owned both properties. She drove to Cape Cod alone to see them. She pulled up to the Harrison beach house first. She got out of her car. She walked up to the front door. She used her new key. The door opened. Caitlin stepped inside. The living room looked exactly the same. White furniture, high ceilings, ocean view. This was where Mrs. Harrison had told her she was the wrong color. Caitlin walked through every room. She touched the walls. She stood in the kitchen. She climbed the stairs. She went into the master bedroom. She looked out the window at the ocean. "This is mine now," Caitlin said out loud. She felt something release in her chest. Not happiness exactly, but power, control, justice. She locked the house and walked next door to the mansion. It was bigger and more modern. It had large windows and an open floor plan. It had a huge deck overlooking the beach. This would be their home. This is where Marcus, Mason, and Maya would grow up. Caitlin called Rosa. "We are moving to Cape Cod," Caitlin said. Rosa was quiet for a moment. "Are you sure about this, Mia?" "I am sure." "Is this about the man? About Kevin?" Caitlin looked at the ocean. "This is about showing my children that the people who rejected us have no power over our lives anymore." Rosa sighed. "When do we move?" "1 month," Caitlin said. "I am enrolling the kids in school here. I want them to start after Thanksgiving." "Okay," Rosa said. "I will start packing." 1 month later, a moving truck pulled up to the mansion on Ocean Drive. Caitlin, Rosa, Marcus, Mason, and Maya climbed out of Caitlin's new black Range Rover. The triplets ran toward the beach immediately. "Can we go in the water?" Marcus shouted. "Not yet," Caitlin called. "Help bring your things inside first." The children groaned, but came back. They each carried small bags into the house. Rosa directed the movers. Caitlin stood on the driveway looking at both properties. She owned them both. The house that rejected her, and the home where her children would grow up, right next to each other. A woman walked past on the sidewalk. She was in her 60s with gray hair. She stopped and stared at Caitlin. "Can I help you?" Caitlin asked. "Are you the new owner?" the woman asked. "I am," Caitlin said. "I am Dorothy Palmer. I live 3 houses down. Welcome to Ocean Drive." "Thank you," Caitlin said. Dorothy looked at the Harrison beach house. "That house has been in the Harrison family for 30 years. I was surprised when Douglas sold it." "People sell houses," Caitlin said simply. Dorothy nodded slowly. She looked at Caitlin's Range Rover. She looked at the movers carrying expensive furniture. "What do you do for work, if you don't mind me asking?" "I own a software company," Caitlin said. "How nice," Dorothy said, but her tone was cool. "Well, welcome to the neighborhood." Dorothy walked away. Caitlin watched her go. She knew Dorothy would tell everyone on the street about her. That was fine. Caitlin wanted people to know she was here. The next week, Caitlin enrolled Marcus, Mason, and Maya at Cape Cod Academy. It was the most expensive private school in town. Tuition was $30,000 per year per child. The admissions director was a thin white woman named Mrs. Laura Bennett. She looked at Caitlin's application. She looked at the children. "Your children have no prior school records," Mrs. Bennett said. "They were homeschooled until now," Caitlin said. "I see." Mrs. Bennett looked uncomfortable. "And you recently moved here from where?" "Quincy," Caitlin said. "But I grew up in Boston." Mrs. Bennett nodded. "Our school has very high standards. We will need to test the children to see if they are ready for kindergarten." "Test them," Caitlin said. Marcus, Mason, and Maya took the tests. They all passed. Caitlin had been teaching them to read since they were 3 years old. "Well," Mrs. Bennett said, looking surprised, "they are very advanced. We can start them next Monday." "Good," Caitlin said. She handed Mrs. Bennett a check for $90,000. "That is for this year's tuition, all 3 children." Mrs. Bennett stared at the check. "This is quite generous. Will you be paying each year in full?" "Yes," Caitlin said. "Is that a problem?" "No, no problem at all." Mrs. Bennett's tone changed. She smiled. "Welcome to Cape Cod Academy." Caitlin drove through downtown Cape Cod. She passed the coffee shops and the art galleries. She passed the marina. She parked in front of a small bookstore called Mitchell's Books. She walked inside. The store smelled like old paper and coffee. Shelves lined every wall. A woman stood behind the counter. She was in her 50s with red hair and glasses. The woman looked up. She stared at Caitlin. Her mouth opened slightly. "Can I help you?" the woman asked slowly. "I am looking for children's books," Caitlin said. The woman kept staring. "You look familiar. Have we met before?" Caitlin looked directly at her. "I came to Cape Cod 6 years ago. I do not think we met, but you might have seen me." The woman's eyes widened. "You are Caitlin. Caitlin Brooks." "Yes." The woman came around the counter. "I am Sarah Mitchell. I own this store. I remember you. I heard about what happened with the Harrisons." Caitlin said nothing. "I am sorry for what they did to you," Sarah said quietly. "It was wrong." "Yes, it was," Caitlin said. Sarah looked at Caitlin's expensive coat and jewelry. "You have done well for yourself." "I have." "Are you back to visit?" "I am back to live here," Caitlin said. "I bought 2 properties on Ocean Drive. I have 3 children. They just started at Cape Cod Academy." Sarah's eyebrows went up. "You bought property here? On Ocean Drive?" "Yes, including the old Harrison beach house." Sarah's mouth fell open. "You bought their house?" "I did." Sarah started laughing. She covered her mouth. "I am sorry. That is just incredible." Caitlin smiled a little. "Can you show me the children's section?" Sarah showed her the books. Caitlin bought 15 of them. When she paid, Sarah said, "People are going to talk about you being back in town." "Let them talk," Caitlin said. Sarah did talk. She told her friend Margaret, who worked at the post office. Margaret told her husband, who worked at the bank. He told his co-workers. Within 3 days, half of Cape Cod knew that Caitlin Brooks was back. And she was rich. Caitlin made sure everyone knew her name. She donated $50,000 to the Cape Cod Public Library. The library put up a plaque with her name. The local newspaper wrote an article about her donation. They included a photo of Caitlin standing in front of the library with the director. Caitlin brought the newspaper home. She showed Rosa. "Look," Caitlin said. "Now everyone will know exactly who I am." Rosa looked worried. "What if Kevin sees this?" "Good," Caitlin said. "I want him to know I am here." Rosa touched Caitlin's hand. "Be careful, Mija. Revenge can hurt you more than it hurts them." "This is not revenge," Caitlin said. This is justice. Caitlin stood on the deck of her mansion that evening. The sun was setting over the ocean. The sky was orange and pink. Marcus, Mason, and Maya were inside with Rosa making dinner. Caitlin looked at the Harrison beach house next door. It was empty. She had not decided what to do with it yet. Maybe she would rent it. Maybe she would leave it empty. Maybe she would tear it down. Rosa came outside. "Dinner is almost ready." "Thank you, Rosa." Rosa stood beside Caitlin. "The children are happy here. They love the beach." "Good," Caitlin said. "But what happens when you see Kevin?" Rosa asked. "What will you do?" Caitlin looked at the ocean. "I will show him exactly what he lost." 3 days before Christmas, Kevin Harrison sat in his office at his father's law firm when he overheard 2 secretaries talking about a wealthy woman named Caitlin Brooks, who just moved to town. Kevin dropped the file he was holding. Papers scattered across the floor of his office. The 2 secretaries were standing near the coffee machine in the hallway. He stepped out of his office. "Excuse me," Kevin said. "What did you just say?" The younger secretary, Amy, turned around. "Oh, Mr. Harrison, I was just telling Lisa about the woman who donated money to the library." "What was her name?" Kevin asked. His voice sounded strange in his own ears. "Caitlin Brooks," Amy said. "She is some kind of tech entrepreneur. She bought 2 big houses on Ocean Drive. She has 3 children. She donated $50,000 to the library. There was an article in the Cape Cod Times." Kevin felt dizzy. He grabbed the doorframe. "Are you okay, Mr. Harrison?" Lisa asked. "I am fine," Kevin said. "Where can I find that article?" "It was in yesterday's paper," Amy said. "I think there is a copy in the break room." Kevin walked to the break room. His legs felt weak. He found the newspaper on the table. He flipped through it until he found the article. There was a photo. It was her. It was Caitlin. She stood in front of the Cape Cod Public Library wearing an expensive black coat. Her hair was styled. She wore pearl earrings. She looked confident. She looked powerful. She looked nothing like the girl he had abandoned 6 years ago. Kevin sat down. He read the article 3 times. Tech entrepreneur. Software company. Recently relocated to Cape Cod. 3 children. 3 children. Kevin's mind raced. The article did not say how old the children were. It did not say if Caitlin was married. He took out his phone. He searched for Caitlin Brooks online. He found her company website, Brooks Tech Solutions. He found articles about her in tech magazines. He found a photo of her at a conference in San Francisco. He found her LinkedIn profile. She had built a fortune. She was successful. She was here in Cape Cod. Kevin put his phone down. His hands were shaking. Why did she come back? Did she know this was his town? Of course she knew. She had been here before. She had met his parents here. Kevin felt sick. That evening, Kevin drove home to the house he shared with his wife, Jennifer. It was a nice house in a quiet neighborhood, but it was not on the water. They could not afford that. Jennifer was in the kitchen making dinner. She was a small woman with blonde hair. She smiled when Kevin walked in. "How was your day?" Jennifer asked. Kevin put his briefcase down. "It was fine." "You look pale. Are you feeling okay?" "I am just tired," Kevin said. They ate dinner in silence. Jennifer tried to make conversation, but Kevin barely responded. His mind was elsewhere. After dinner, Jennifer touched his hand. "Kevin, something is wrong. You have been distant for weeks. Please talk to me." "Nothing is wrong," Kevin said. "Work has been stressful." "Is it your father? Did he say something to you?" "No, it is not my father." Jennifer looked hurt. "You never talk to me anymore. I feel like I am living with a stranger." Kevin felt a wave of guilt. Jennifer was kind. She deserved better than this. But he could not tell her about Caitlin. He could not explain why his hands were shaking and his mind was racing. "I am sorry," Kevin said. "I will try to be more present." Jennifer nodded, but she did not look convinced. That night, Kevin lay in bed unable to sleep. Jennifer was asleep beside him. Kevin stared at the ceiling. He thought about Caitlin. He thought about how he had abandoned her. He thought about how she had built a life without him. He wondered if she was married. He wondered who the father of her 3 children was. He wanted to drive to Ocean Drive and see if she was really there. But he was afraid. What would he say to her? What could he possibly say after 6 years? At 2 in the morning, Kevin got out of bed. He went to his office. He searched for more information about Caitlin online. He found an interview she did for a tech blog 2 years ago. The interviewer asked, "What drives you?" Caitlin answered, "I want to build a life where my children never have to ask permission to exist. I want them to know they belong everywhere." Kevin read that sentence 5 times. He felt like she was speaking directly to him. He felt ashamed. Meanwhile, Mrs. Patricia Harrison was having lunch at the Cape Cod Country Club. She sat with 3 of her friends at a table by the window. They were drinking white wine and eating salads. One of her friends, Claire Ashford, leaned forward. "Patricia, did you hear about the woman who bought your old beach house?" Mrs. Harrison's fork stopped halfway to her mouth. "What?" "Your old house, on Ocean Drive," Claire said. "Someone bought it 3 months ago. A black woman from Boston. She bought the mansion next door, too, paid cash for both properties." Mrs. Harrison put her fork down. "Who told you this?" "My husband plays golf with the real estate agent who handled the sale," Claire said. "Apparently she is very wealthy. She drives a Range Rover. She enrolled 3 children at Cape Cod Academy." "What is her name?" "Mrs." Harrison asked. Her voice was tight. Claire thought for a moment. "Something Brooks." "Catherine?" "No, Caitlin. Caitlin Brooks." Mrs. Harrison's face went pale. The other women at the table noticed. "Patricia, are you all right?" another friend asked. Mrs. Harrison stood up. "Excuse me, I need to make a phone call." She walked to the hallway outside the dining room. She called her husband. "Douglas," she said when he answered, "we have a problem." "What is it?" "That girl is back, Caitlin. She bought our beach house. She bought the house next door. She is living in Cape Cod." Mr. Douglas Harrison was silent for a long moment. "Are you certain?" "Claire Ashford just told me. Her husband knows the real estate agent." "Why would she come back here?" Douglas asked. "I do not know, but it cannot be a coincidence. She is doing this to humiliate us." "We need to think about this carefully," Douglas said. "We cannot let her ruin our reputation." "We should go to the house," Patricia said. "We should confront her. Tell her she is not welcome here." "When?" "Christmas Eve. We always go to the beach house on Christmas Eve. Let us go then. Let us make it clear that she does not belong in this town." Douglas agreed. "We will bring Kevin and Jennifer. We will show her that our family is strong." At Cape Cod Academy, Marcus, Mason, and Maya were eating lunch in the cafeteria. It was their 2nd week at the school. Some children had been friendly, others had not. A group of boys at the next table kept staring at them. Finally, one boy leaned over. "Why is your skin that color?" the boy asked. Marcus looked at him. "What do you mean?" "Your skin is brown. Why?" Mason frowned. "Why is your skin white?" The boy looked confused. He did not have an answer. Maya looked down at her lunch. She did not like when people stared. At the end of the school day, Rosa picked up the triplets. They climbed into the car. Maya was quiet. "How was school today?" Rosa asked. "Some kids asked why our skin is brown," Marcus said. Rosa looked at them in the rearview mirror. "What did you say?" "I asked him why his skin was white," Mason said. He did not know what to say. Rosa smiled a little. Good answer, Mason. When they got home, Caitlin was working in her office. The triplets came in. Marcus spoke first. Mom, why do people keep staring at us? Caitlin closed her laptop. She looked at her children. This was not an easy conversation, but it was an important one. Some people in this town are not used to seeing families like ours, Caitlin said carefully. Some people think that everyone should look the same, but they are wrong. Why do they think that? Maya asked quietly. Because they have not learned better yet, Caitlin said. But that is not your problem. That is their problem. Marcus nodded slowly. So we did not do anything wrong. You did nothing wrong, Caitlin said firmly. You are perfect exactly the way you are. Do not let anyone make you feel small. Okay, Mom, Marcus said. The children ran off to play. Rosa stood in the doorway. She had been listening. They are going to face more of that here, Rosa said. I know, Caitlin said, but I want them to learn to be proud. I want them to learn to stand tall even when people try to make them feel less than. Rosa walked into the office. She sat down across from Caitlin. Are you sure about this plan? About staying here? I am sure. The Harrisons are going to find out you are here, if they have not already. I hope they do, Caitlin said. And when they see the children? When they see that the children look like Kevin? Caitlin met Rosa's eyes. Then they will finally understand what they destroyed. On December the 22nd, Kevin made a decision. He was going to drive to Ocean Drive. He was going to see if Caitlin was really there. He did not know what he would say. He just needed to see her. He waited until Jennifer went to her mother's house for a holiday party. Then he got in his car. He drove toward Ocean Drive. His heart pounded in his chest. He turned onto the street. He drove slowly past the beach houses. He saw his parents' old house. It looked the same from the outside. He kept driving. He saw the mansion next door. There was a black Range Rover in the driveway. There were toys on the front lawn. Kevin pulled over. He sat in his car, staring at the house. Was she inside? Were her children inside? Before he could decide what to do, the front door opened. 3 children ran out onto the lawn. 2 boys and 1 girl. They were laughing. They were chasing each other. Kevin stared at them. They had light brown skin. They had curly, dark hair. They looked about 5 years old. Then he saw something that made his heart stop. One of the boys turned toward the street. Kevin saw his face clearly. The boy had blue-green eyes. Kevin's eyes. Kevin could not breathe. He started his car. He drove away quickly before anyone saw him. He drove home in a daze. His mind was screaming. Those children looked like him. Those children had his eyes. Were they his? Kevin pulled into his driveway. He sat in his car. His whole body was shaking. On Christmas Eve morning, he would go back to Ocean Drive. He would knock on the door. He would find out the truth. Kevin barely slept that night. He kept seeing those blue-green eyes. He kept seeing the way one of the boys smiled. It looked exactly like Kevin's smile in his childhood photos. When morning came, Kevin got dressed. Jennifer was still asleep. He left a note on the kitchen counter. Went to run errands. Back soon. He drove toward Ocean Drive at 8:30 in the morning. The roads were quiet. Christmas Eve. Most people were home with their families. Kevin parked down the street from the mansion. He sat in his car trying to find courage. He needed to know the truth. He needed to knock on that door. But before he could move, his phone rang. It was his mother. "Kevin, where are you?" Mrs. Harrison asked. "I am running errands. Why?" "Your father and I are going to the beach house today. We want you and Jennifer to come with us." Kevin's stomach dropped. "Why are you going there? You sold that house." "Exactly. Someone bought our family home and we want to see who. We want to make sure they are taking care of it properly. Meet us there at 3 o'clock this afternoon." "Mom, I do not think that is a good idea." "Kevin, we are your parents. We are asking you to be there. Bring Jennifer, 3 o'clock. Do not be late." She hung up. Kevin put his phone down. His parents were going to the beach house. They were going to see Caitlin. They were going to see the children. Everything was about to explode. At the mansion, Caitlin woke up early. She made coffee. She stood on the deck watching the ocean. Today was Christmas Eve. Today was the day she had been waiting for. Rosa came outside holding her own coffee cup. "Did you sleep?" Rosa asked. "A little," Caitlin said. "Are you sure you want to do this today? It is Christmas Eve. The children are excited about the holiday." "The Harrisons always come to their beach house on Christmas Eve," Caitlin said. "It is tradition. When they arrive and find out I own it, they will have to face me." "And the children?" Rosa asked. "What happens when the Harrisons see them?" Caitlin looked at Rosa. "Then everyone will know the truth." Rosa shook her head. "I hope you know what you are doing." At noon, Mr. and Mrs. Harrison prepared to leave for Ocean Drive. They lived in a large house in a different part of Cape Cod now. The house was nice, but smaller than their old beach house. Douglas Harrison's law firm had faced financial problems 3 years ago. They had to sell the beach house to cover debts. Mrs. Harrison put on her best coat. She checked her appearance in the mirror. She looked elegant and cold. "Are you ready?" Douglas asked. "Yes. Let us go remind this woman that she does not belong in our community." They drove to Kevin and Jennifer's house. Kevin was waiting outside. Jennifer came out behind him. She looked confused. "Why are we doing this again?" Jennifer asked as she got in the car. "We used to own that house," Mrs. Harrison explained. "It has been in the Harrison family for 30 years. We want to see who bought it and make sure they understand the history of the property." Jennifer nodded, but she still looked uncertain. They drove to Ocean Drive. Kevin sat in the back seat feeling sick. He wanted to tell his parents not to do this. He wanted to tell them to turn around. But he said nothing. Just like 6 years ago, he said nothing. At 2:45 in the afternoon, the Harrisons pulled into the driveway of the beach house. Douglas Harrison got out first. He walked to the front door. He pulled out a key from his pocket. "Dad, what are you doing?" Kevin asked. "I kept a spare key," Douglas said. "I want to see inside." He put the key in the lock. He turned it. Nothing happened. He tried again. The lock did not move. "They changed the locks," Douglas said. He sounded offended. "Of course they changed the locks," Jennifer said. "It is not your house anymore." Patricia Harrison got out of the car. She tried her own key. It did not work either. "This is ridiculous," Patricia said. "We owned this house for 30 years." A man was checking the mailbox of the mansion next door. He wore a suit. He carried a briefcase. His name was Tom Bradley, and he was a local real estate agent. Douglas walked over to him. "Excuse me, do you know who bought this property?" Tom looked up. "The beach house?" "Yes, I handled that sale. May I ask why you want to know?" "I am Douglas Harrison. This used to be my house. I would like to know who purchased it." Tom's expression changed. He looked uncomfortable. "Oh, Mr. Harrison, I see." "Who bought it?" Patricia demanded. Tom pointed down Ocean Drive. "The owner is arriving now." They all turned to look. A black Range Rover was pulling up to the mansion next door. The car parked. The driver's door opened. Caitlin stepped out. She wore a long, white coat and designer sunglasses. Her hair was perfect. She moved with confidence and grace. Kevin's legs almost gave out. It was her. It was really her. The back doors of the Range Rover opened. 3 children climbed out, 2 boys and 1 girl. They all had light brown skin and curly dark hair. They all looked about 5 years old. Rosa got out of the passenger seat. She put her hand on Maya's shoulder protectively. Caitlin removed her sunglasses. She looked directly at the Harrisons. She walked toward them slowly. The children stayed back with Rosa. Mrs. Harrison stared at Caitlin. Then she stared at the children. Her face went pale. "Those children," Patricia whispered. "They look like—" Caitlin stopped, 10 feet away from the Harrisons. She smiled, but it was not a warm smile. It was cold and controlled. "Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Harrison," Caitlin said calmly. "It has been 6 years." Douglas stepped forward. "Caitlin, we heard you were in town. We wanted to talk to you about this house." "This house is mine now," Caitlin said. "The mansion next door is also mine. You are standing on my property." Kevin finally found his voice. "Caitlin—" He took a step toward her. His legs were shaking. He looked at the 3 children standing with Rosa. He looked at their faces. He saw his own eyes looking back at him. He saw his own face in their features. His knees buckled. He collapsed onto the driveway. "Kevin!" Jennifer rushed to him. She knelt beside him. "What is wrong? Are you sick?" Jennifer looked up at the children. She stared at them. Her mouth opened. "They look just like you, Kevin," Jennifer whispered. Kevin could not speak. He could only stare at the children. Caitlin gestured toward Marcus, Mason, and Maya. "Come here." The 3 children walked to their mother. Rosa followed behind them protectively. The children stood in a line beside Caitlin. They looked at the strangers with curiosity. "This is Marcus," Caitlin said, putting her hand on the first boy's shoulder. "This is Mason. This is Maya." Mrs. Harrison shook her head. "What is this? What are you doing?" Caitlin looked directly at Kevin. "These are your children, Kevin. I was pregnant when you abandoned me 6 years ago. I found out 2 weeks before you blocked my number and disappeared from my life." Jennifer made a sound. It was half gasp, half cry. She stood up and backed away from Kevin. "You have children?" Jennifer's voice was shaking. "You never told me you have children?" "I did not know," Kevin said. His voice was barely a whisper. "I swear, I did not know." "You did not know because you ran away," Caitlin said. Her voice was calm and hard. "You stood silent while your parents threw me out. Then you abandoned me completely. You were too much of a coward to face me. So I raised Marcus, Mason, and Maya alone. I worked 3 jobs while I was pregnant. I taught myself to code. I built apps. I started a company. I made millions. I did it all without you. And now I own everything your family used to have." Douglas tried to step forward. "Caitlin, we can discuss this reasonably." "No." Caitlin's voice was sharp. "You told me I was the wrong color for this family. You put your hands on me and pushed me out of this house. You told me to never come back. Now I own this house. I own the land you are standing on. And you need to leave immediately, or I will call the police." Patricia stared at the children. "How do we know they are Kevin's? How do we know you are not lying?" Marcus stepped forward. He looked at Kevin. "Mom says you are our father. Why did you leave before we were born?" Kevin's face crumbled. Tears ran down his cheeks. "I did not know you existed. I swear I did not know." "But you left our mom," Marcus said. "You made her cry." Jennifer turned to Kevin. Her face was red. "You have 3 children, and you never told me? Our entire marriage has been a lie? Jennifer, please!" Kevin reached for her. Jennifer pulled out her phone. She called for an Uber. "I am leaving. Do not follow me. Do not call me." Jennifer walked to the end of the driveway. She stood there, waiting for her ride. She did not look back at Kevin. Kevin sat on the cold concrete. He could not stand up. His whole body felt heavy. He stared at the 3 children standing beside Caitlin. They were his. He knew it. They had his eyes. They had his face. He had 3 children. He had missed 5 years of their lives. Mrs. Harrison finally found her voice. "Caitlin, surely we can talk about this situation like adults." Caitlin turned to look at her. "No, we cannot. These children," Patricia continued, "if they really are Kevin's, then they are our grandchildren. We have a right." "You have no rights here," Caitlin interrupted. Her voice was ice. "You threw me out of this house 6 years ago. You told me I was the wrong color. You put your hands on me and pushed me toward the door. Now this is my house. This is my property. You are trespassing." Douglas Harrison stepped forward. "Now wait just a moment. We can resolve this. There are legal matters to consider. Paternity tests, custody arrangements." Caitlin pulled her phone from her pocket. She dialed 9, then 1. She held the phone up so they could see. "My finger is on the 1, Caitlin said calmly. "I will call the police and tell them you are trespassing on my property and refusing to leave. I will tell them you are harassing me and my children. You have 30 seconds to get in your car and drive away." Douglas stared at her. He realized she was not bluffing. "Patricia, we should go." "No," Patricia said. "We are not leaving. These are our grandchildren." "Mom, we need to leave," Kevin said from the ground. His voice was weak. "Stand up, Kevin," Patricia commanded. "Stand up and come with us." Kevin tried to stand. His legs shook. He managed to get to his feet. He looked at Caitlin. "Please, can we talk? Just for a minute?" "No," Caitlin said. "You lost the right to talk to me 6 years ago when you blocked my number and disappeared." A car pulled up. Jennifer's Uber. She got in without saying goodbye. The car drove away. Mrs. Harrison watched the car leave. She looked at Kevin. "Your wife just left you." "She is not my wife anymore," Kevin said quietly. He knew his marriage was over. He knew it the moment Jennifer saw the children. Douglas took Patricia's arm. "We are leaving, now." "I am not leaving my grandchildren," Patricia said, but her voice was less certain now. She looked at Caitlin's phone. She looked at the cold expression on Caitlin's face. "You are leaving," Caitlin said, "or I press this button and the police come. You choose." Douglas pulled Patricia toward their car. "Come on." Patricia resisted for a moment. Then she walked to the car. But before she got in, she turned back to look at the children. Marcus, Mason, and Maya stood close to their mother. They watched everything with wide eyes. For the first time, Patricia's face showed something other than anger or pride. It showed fear. She was looking at 3 children who were her grandchildren. 3 children she had never known existed. 3 children who looked at her like she was a stranger. A threatening stranger. Patricia got in the car. Douglas started the engine. They drove away slowly. Patricia looked back through the window until the car turned the corner and disappeared. Kevin remained. He stood in the driveway. He did not move. Caitlin looked at him. "You need to leave too." "Please," Kevin said. "Just let me talk to you, just for a few minutes." "No." "Caitlin, I did not know you were pregnant. I swear I did not know. If I had known, if you had known, what?" Caitlin's voice was sharp. "You still chose your parents. You still abandoned me. You stood in this house and said nothing while they told me I was the wrong color. You let them throw me out. Then you ran away because you were too weak to face what you did." Kevin's face was wet with tears. "You are right. I was weak. I was a coward. I have regretted it every single day for 6 years." "Regret means nothing," Caitlin said. Kevin looked at Marcus, Mason, and Maya. They stared back at him. "Can I meet them? Properly? Please." Caitlin was quiet for a moment. She looked down at her children. "Do you three want to meet him?" Marcus looked at Kevin. "Is he really our dad?" "Yes," Caitlin said. "Why was he not there when we were born?" Marcus asked. Kevin knelt down on the driveway. He was at eye level with Marcus now. "I did not know you were going to be born. Your mother and I had a fight. Well, not a fight. Something bad happened. I made a terrible mistake. I left. I stopped talking to your mother. I did not know she was pregnant. I did not know about you or your brother or your sister." "But you left our mom," Marcus said. "You made her sad." Kevin nodded. "Yes, I did. I hurt your mother very badly. There is no excuse for what I did. I was wrong." Mason spoke up. "Are you going to stay now? Or are you going to leave again?" Kevin looked at Mason. "I want to stay. I want to know you. I want to be your father." Maya, who had been quiet this whole time, asked in a small voice, "Will you leave again?" Kevin's chest hurt. "No, I promise I will not leave again." Caitlin spoke. "Promises mean nothing, Kevin. Words are easy. Actions are everything." Kevin stood up. He looked at Caitlin. "You are right. Tell me what I need to do. Tell me how I can be part of their lives. I will do anything." Caitlin studied his face. She saw the tears. She saw the desperation. She felt nothing. Her heart was a wall when it came to Kevin Harrison. "You can visit them," Caitlin said finally, "but only when I say so. Only with supervision. Rosa or I will be present at all times. You will not take them anywhere alone. You will not make promises to them that you cannot keep. If you miss even one visit, you are done. Do you understand?" "Yes," Kevin said immediately. "Yes, I understand. Thank you." "Do not thank me," Caitlin said. "I am not doing this for you. I am doing this for them. They deserve to know their father, even if their father does not deserve them." Kevin nodded. He accepted that. He deserved her anger. He deserved worse. "When can I see them?" Kevin asked. "I will call you," Caitlin said. "Give Rosa your number." Kevin pulled out his phone. His hands shook as he typed his number into Rosa's phone. "Now leave," Caitlin said. Kevin looked at the children one more time. "Goodbye, Marcus. Goodbye, Mason. Goodbye, Maya. I will see you soon." The children did not respond. They held on to their mother's coat. Kevin walked to his car. He got in. He sat there for a moment looking at the mansion, looking at his children standing on the front lawn. Then he drove away. Rosa, Caitlin, Marcus, Mason, and Maya stood in the driveway. The sun was starting to set. The sky was turning orange. "Can we go inside now?" Mason asked. "I am cold." "Yes," Caitlin said. "Let us go inside." They walked into the mansion. Rosa closed the door behind them. The children ran to the living room where their toys were. Rosa looked at Caitlin. "Are you okay?" "Yes." "That was a lot, for all of us." Caitlin took off her coat. It needed to happen. "What happens now?" Rosa asked. "Now, Kevin learns what it means to be a father," Caitlin said, "and his parents learn what it means to lose control." Rosa put her hand on Caitlin's shoulder. "I hope you find peace in this, Mia." Caitlin looked toward the living room where her children were playing. "I have peace. I have them. I have you. I have a life that I built. The Harrisons have nothing I need anymore." Kevin drove to his house. When he arrived, Jennifer's car was not there. He walked inside. The house was silent. He saw that Jennifer's closet was open. Some of her clothes were gone. There was a note on the kitchen table. "I'm staying at my parents' house. Do not contact me. My lawyer will contact you about the divorce." Kevin sat down. He put his head in his hands. His marriage was over. His relationship with his parents was destroyed. He had 3 children he did not know. His phone rang. It was his mother. Kevin answered. "Hello?" "Kevin, we need to talk about what just happened," Patricia said. Her voice was tight with anger. "What is there to talk about? You have children you never told us about. Children with that woman. This is a disaster." "Those children are your grandchildren," Kevin said. "They are evidence of your mistake," Patricia said. "We need to figure out how to handle this, how to minimize the damage to our family's reputation." Kevin felt something shift inside him. He had spent his whole life caring about his family's reputation. He had destroyed Caitlin because he cared about his family's reputation. He had lost 6 years with his children because he cared about his family's reputation. "I do not care about the family reputation anymore," Kevin said. "What?" Patricia's voice was sharp. "I said I do not care. I care about Marcus, Mason, and Maya. I care about being their father. I care about fixing what I destroyed. I do not care what your friends at the country club think." "Kevin Harrison, you will not speak to me this way." "Goodbye, Mom." Kevin hung up. His mother called back immediately. Kevin declined the call. She called again. He turned off his phone. He sat in his empty house alone. But for the first time in 6 years, he felt like he had made the right choice. Kevin called Caitlin the next morning. It was Christmas Day. The phone rang 4 times before she answered. "Hello?" Caitlin's voice was cold. "It is Kevin. I wanted to know when I can see the children." "Not today. It is Christmas." "Can I bring them gifts?" "No, they have everything they need." "Please, Caitlin, I just want—" She hung up. Kevin called again the next day, and the day after that. Each time Caitlin told him to wait. She told him she would decide when he could visit. Kevin understood. She was making him wait the same way he had made her wait 6 years ago. She was showing him what it felt like to have no control. 1 week passed. Kevin called every single day. On January 2nd, Caitlin finally answered and said, "You can visit tomorrow. 1 hour. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Rosa will be there the entire time. If you are even 1 minute late, the visit is canceled." "I will be there," Kevin said. "Thank you." "Do not thank me," Caitlin said. Then she hung up. Kevin could barely sleep that night. He kept thinking about what he would say to the children. He went to a bookstore and bought 3 books. A book about dinosaurs for Marcus. A book about building things for Mason. A book about art for Maya. He did not know if they liked these things. He did not know anything about them. But he had to start somewhere. At 2:45 on January 3rd, Kevin pulled up to the mansion on Ocean Drive. He was early. He sat in his car holding the 3 books. His hands were shaking. At exactly 3 o'clock, he walked to the front door. He rang the doorbell. Rosa answered. She looked at Kevin with hard eyes. She did not smile. "You are on time," Rosa said. "I will always be on time," Kevin said. Rosa stepped aside to let him in. "The children are in the living room with Caitlin. You have 1 hour. I will be watching." Kevin nodded. He followed Rosa into the living room. Marcus, Mason, and Maya sat on a large couch. Caitlin sat between them. She wore jeans and a sweater. She looked different than she had on Christmas Eve. She looked less formal. But her eyes were still cold when she looked at Kevin. Kevin stood in the doorway. He did not know what to do with his hands. "Hello," Kevin said. "Hi," Mason said. Marcus and Maya said nothing. Kevin walked closer. He sat down in a chair across from the couch. He put the books on the coffee table. "I brought these for you," Kevin said. I did not know what you liked, so I guessed. Marcus looked at the dinosaur book. I like dinosaurs. You do? Kevin felt relief. Which one is your favorite? Triceratops, Marcus said. They have 3 horns and they eat plants. That is a good choice, Kevin said. Mason picked up the building book. This has pictures of bridges. Do you like building things? Kevin asked. I like building castles, Mason said, and towers, and roads. Kevin smiled. Maybe I can help you build something sometime. Maya did not reach for her book. She sat close to Caitlin and looked at Kevin with quiet, careful eyes. Kevin cleared his throat. I know this is strange. I know you do not know me. I want to get to know you. I want to know what you like to do, what makes you happy, what your favorite foods are, everything. Why? Marcus asked. Why do you want to know now? Kevin took a breath. Because I was not there before. I made a mistake. A big mistake. I should have been there when you were born. I should have been there for every birthday and every first day of school and every time you needed someone. I was not there because I was scared and stupid, but I am here now, and I want to be here for the rest of your lives. Marcus considered this. Mom says words do not matter. Actions matter. Your mom is right, Kevin said. I need to show you, not just tell you. That is why I am here. Caitlin spoke for the first time. You have 50 minutes left. Kevin nodded. He turned back to the children. Can you tell me about school? Do you like your teachers? Marcus answered first. My teacher is Miss Rodriguez. She teaches us math and reading. I am good at reading. What is your favorite book? Kevin asked. Where the Wild Things Are, Marcus said. They talked about books. Then Mason talked about the block tower he built in his classroom. Maya stayed quiet, but she listened to everything. After 30 minutes, Maya finally spoke. Her voice was so soft, Kevin almost did not hear her. Do you like drawing? Maya asked. Kevin looked at her. I used to draw when I was little. I was not very good, but I liked it. I draw every day, Maya said. Can I see some of your drawings sometime? Kevin asked. Maya looked at Caitlin. Caitlin nodded. Maya got up and ran upstairs. She came back with a sketchbook. She sat back down next to Caitlin and opened it. The drawings were beautiful. There were pictures of the ocean, pictures of Rosa, pictures of Marcus and Mason playing, pictures of Caitlin. These are amazing, Maya, Kevin said. You are very talented. Maya smiled a little. It was the first time Kevin had seen any of the children smile at him. Time is up, Caitlin said. Kevin looked at the clock. Exactly 1 hour had passed. Can I come back? Kevin asked. Please? Caitlin looked at the children. Do you want him to come back? Marcus shrugged. I guess so. Mason said, he can come back if he wants. Maya nodded. You can come back next week, Caitlin said to Kevin. Same time. Thank you, Kevin said. He stood up. Goodbye, Marcus. Goodbye, Mason. Goodbye, Maya. Bye, the children said. Rosa walked Kevin to the door. Before he left, she put her hand on his arm. She spoke quietly so the children could not hear. If you hurt those children, you will answer to me. Do you understand? Kevin looked into Rosa's eyes. I understand. I will not hurt them. I promise. Promises mean nothing yet, Rosa said. Show me with your actions. Kevin nodded. He walked to his car. When he sat down in the driver's seat, he started crying. He had just spent 1 hour with his children. 1 hour. He had missed 5 years. That same week, Kevin received divorce papers. Jennifer's lawyer sent them to his office. The papers requested half of everything Kevin owned. Kevin signed them without arguing. He did not contest anything. He knew he deserved this. His secretary knocked on his office door. Mr. Harrison, your mother is on line 1. "Tell her I am not available," Kevin said. "She has called 4 times today." "Tell her I am not available." Kevin's phone buzzed. A text from his mother. "You are destroying this family. Call me immediately." Kevin deleted the message. His father called next. Kevin declined the call. Another text from his mother. "We need to discuss the children. We have rights as grandparents," Kevin replied. "You have no rights. You told their mother she was the wrong color. You threw her out of your house. You will never meet Marcus Mason and Maya. Leave us alone." He blocked both of his parents' numbers. Kevin moved out of the house he had shared with Jennifer. He rented a small apartment in downtown Cape Cod. It was nothing special. 1 bedroom, small kitchen, but it was his. He moved in with 2 suitcases and nothing else. Jennifer kept everything else. On the day Kevin moved in, he bought 3 picture frames. He put them on the empty bookshelf in the living room. He had no photos of his children yet, but someday he would. Someday, those frames would be full. The following week, Kevin visited the children again. This time, the visit felt slightly less awkward. Mason showed Kevin a block castle he had built. It was tall and complex, with towers and bridges. "This is incredible, Mason," Kevin said. "Do you want to help me build another one?" Mason asked. Kevin looked at Caitlin. She nodded. Kevin sat on the floor with Mason. They built a castle together. Marcus watched for a few minutes, then joined them. Maya sat on the couch drawing, but she glanced over occasionally. After that visit, Kevin asked Caitlin, "Can I come twice a week instead of once?" Caitlin thought about it. "We will see." But the next week, Caitlin called Kevin and told him he could visit on Tuesday and Friday. Kevin showed up both days. He was never late, not even by 1 minute. On his 4th visit, Kevin brought small gifts: a dinosaur toy for Marcus, building blocks for Mason, a set of colored pencils for Maya. Caitlin frowned when she saw the gifts. "You do not need to buy their affection." "I am not trying to buy their affection," Kevin said. "I am trying to show them I pay attention." Marcus mentioned he liked triceratops. Mason said he needed more building blocks. Maya said her pencils were old. Caitlin said nothing, but Kevin saw something shift in her expression. She was watching him, evaluating him. The children loved the gifts. Marcus played with his dinosaur. Mason immediately started building with his new blocks. Maya opened the colored pencils carefully. "These are good pencils," Maya said quietly. "I asked the woman at the art store which ones were best," Kevin said. Maya smiled. After that visit, Rosa pulled Kevin aside before he left. "You are doing better. Keep it up." It was the first time Rosa had said anything positive to him. Kevin felt hope. That night, Maya showed Caitlin a new drawing. It was a picture of 5 people: Caitlin, Marcus, Mason, Maya, and Kevin. "Who is this?" Caitlin asked, pointing at Kevin in the drawing. "Dad," Maya said. Caitlin's chest tightened. Her daughter had called Kevin Dad for the first time. Caitlin looked at the drawing for a long time. She saw herself. She saw her 3 children. She saw Kevin drawn in colored pencils standing with them. Rosa came into Maya's room. She saw the drawing in Caitlin's hands. "She is starting to accept him," Rosa said quietly. "I know," Caitlin said. "Is that what you wanted?" Caitlin put the drawing on Maya's desk. "I wanted them to have a father who would not abandon them. I do not know yet if Kevin is that person. He has shown up every time so far," Rosa said. "He has been consistent for 3 weeks." "3 weeks is easy," Caitlin said. "I need to know if he will still show up when it gets hard." The next day, Caitlin called Kevin. He answered on the first ring. "Hello?" "I need to talk to you," Caitlin said. "Come to the house tomorrow at 10 in the morning. The children will be at school." "Is something wrong?" Kevin's voice was worried. "Just be here," Caitlin hung up. Kevin arrived at exactly 10 o'clock the next morning. Caitlin answered the door. She did not invite him inside. They stood on the front porch. "What is this about?" Kevin asked. "I want to know if you are serious," Caitlin said. "I am serious. I have been coming to see the children. I have not missed a single visit." "Showing up for supervised visits is the bare minimum," Caitlin said. "I need to know if you are willing to do something harder." Kevin looked nervous. "What do you want me to do?" Every year, Cape Cod has a community gathering at the beach. People speak about new beginnings and gratitude. It happens on January 2nd. That is in 5 days. "Okay," Kevin said. "I want you to speak," Caitlin said. "I want you to stand in front of the entire town and tell them the truth. Tell them what you did 6 years ago. Tell them what your parents did. Tell them about Marcus, Mason, and Maya." Kevin's face went pale. "You want me to tell everyone?" "Yes. My parents will be there. Half the town will be there. Everyone will know." "Everyone should know," Caitlin said. "You have been hiding for 6 years. You ran away from what you did. Now you need to face it publicly. If you truly want to be part of your children's lives, you need to show them that you are not ashamed of them. You need to show them that you will choose them over your family's reputation." Kevin's hands were shaking. "If I do this, my parents will never forgive me. My father's law firm will lose clients. My family's reputation in this town will be destroyed." "Yes," Caitlin said, "it will. So you need to decide what matters more. Your family's reputation or your children." Kevin looked at the house. He thought about Marcus, Mason, and Maya inside. He thought about the drawing Maya had made with him in it. "I will do it," Kevin said. "I will speak at the gathering." Caitlin nodded. "Good. Be at the beach at 9 o'clock in the morning on January 2nd. Kevin barely ate for the next 5 days. He wrote down what he would say, he threw it away and started over. He practiced in front of his bathroom mirror. His voice shook every time. Jennifer's divorce was finalized on December 31st. Kevin signed the papers at his lawyer's office. Jennifer was not there. She had her lawyer handle everything. Kevin walked out of the office a single man. He felt nothing. His marriage had been dead for a long time. On the evening of January 1st, Kevin's father showed up at his apartment. Kevin opened the door and saw Douglas Harrison standing there. "What are you doing here?" Kevin asked. "Your mother and I want to talk to you," Douglas said. "We have not seen you in weeks. You blocked our numbers. This is unacceptable." "I have nothing to say to you. Kevin, we are your parents. Those children may be your biological offspring, but they do not have to ruin your life. We can figure this out. We can make arrangements, child support, visitation schedules, but you do not need to destroy your relationship with us." Kevin stared at his father. "Marcus, Mason, and Maya are not a problem to be managed. They are my children. They are your grandchildren." "They are the product of a mistake," Douglas said. "No," Kevin said. "They are the best thing that has ever happened to me, and I will not hide them. I will not be ashamed of them." "What are you talking about?" Kevin stepped closer to his father. "I am done pretending. I am done protecting the family reputation. I am done being the person you wanted me to be. Tomorrow, everyone in Cape Cod is going to know the truth." Douglas's eyes narrowed. "What are you planning?" "You will find out tomorrow. Now leave." Kevin closed the door. His father stood outside for a moment, then walked away. January 2nd arrived. The weather was cold, but clear. Hundreds of people gathered on the beach for the annual community gathering. There were families with children. There were elderly couples. There were people Kevin had known his whole life. Mr. and Mrs. Harrison arrived at 8:45 in the morning. They stood near the front of the crowd. They wore expensive coats. They smiled and greeted people they knew. They had no idea what was about to happen. Caitlin arrived at 8:50. She wore a long coat and boots. Marcus, Mason, and Maya walked beside her. Rosa held Maya's hand. People stared at them. Some people whispered. Caitlin ignored them. She walked to a spot near the front and stood there. Mrs. Harrison saw Caitlin. She saw the children. Her face tightened, but she said nothing. Kevin arrived at exactly 9 o'clock. He wore a simple jacket and jeans. He looked sick. His face was pale. His hands shook. The organizer of the event, a woman named Carol Peterson, stood on a small wooden platform. She spoke into a microphone. "Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our annual New Year gathering. Today, we have several community members who want to share their thoughts about gratitude and new beginnings. Our first speaker is Kevin Harrison." Kevin walked to the platform. People clapped politely. The Harrison family was well known in Cape Cod. People expected Kevin to give a standard speech about community and hope. Kevin stood on the platform. He held the microphone. He looked out at the crowd. He saw his parents. He saw Caitlin and his children. He saw hundreds of faces waiting for him to speak. He took a deep breath. "My name is Kevin Harrison," he began. His voice shook. "6 years ago, I brought a woman I loved to meet my parents. Her name is Caitlin Brooks." The crowd went quiet. People stopped talking. Kevin continued. "My parents rejected her because of her skin color. My mother told her she was the wrong color for our family. My father told her to leave their property, and I said nothing. I stood there and watched them hurt her. I did not defend her. I did not stand up for her. I was a coward." People in the crowd started murmuring. Mr. and Mrs. Harrison stood frozen. Patricia's face turned red. After that day, I abandoned Caitlin completely. I stopped answering her calls. I blocked her number. I disappeared from her life. What I did not know was that Caitlin was pregnant. She was carrying my children. Triplets. More murmuring. People looked around trying to find Caitlin in the crowd. Caitlin raised Marcus, Mason, and Maya alone for 5 years. She worked 3 jobs. She built a company. She became a millionaire. She did everything by herself, while I lived my comfortable life pretending she never existed. Kevin looked directly at his parents. I was wrong. My parents were wrong. Caitlin was never the wrong color. I was the wrong man. I chose my family's approval over the woman I loved. I chose silence over courage. I chose comfort over responsibility. Mrs. Harrison tried to push through the crowd to leave. People blocked her path. They wanted to hear this. "I am ashamed of what I did," Kevin said. His voice was stronger now. "I do not deserve forgiveness, but I want to be in my children's lives. I want to be the father I should have been from the beginning, and I will not hide them. I will not be ashamed of them. I am proud to be their father." He stepped down from the platform. The crowd was completely silent for 3 seconds. Then someone started clapping. It was Sarah Mitchell from the bookstore. Others joined. Not everyone. Some people looked uncomfortable. Some people shook their heads and walked away. But many people clapped. Mr. Harrison grabbed his wife's arm and tried to leave. People moved aside now. As they walked past Kevin, Mrs. Harrison stopped. She turned to face her son. She walked up to him. Then she slapped him across the face. The sound echoed across the beach. Everyone saw it. "You have destroyed this family," Patricia said. Her voice was shaking with rage. "You have humiliated us in front of everyone we know. You are no longer my son." She turned and walked away. Douglas followed her. They disappeared into the parking lot. Kevin stood there with a red mark on his cheek. He did not cry. He did not move. Caitlin walked over to him with Marcus, Mason, and Maya. The children stared at Kevin's red cheek. "Did that hurt?" Mason asked. "A little," Kevin said. Caitlin looked at Kevin. For the first time since Christmas Eve, her expression softened slightly. "You did what I asked. You chose them over your family." "They are my family," Kevin said, looking at the children. Marcus looked up at Kevin. "Are we really your family now?" Kevin knelt down to be at eye level with the boy. "Yes, you always were. I just did not know it." "Okay," Marcus said. He did not smile, but he nodded. People walked past them leaving the beach. Some people stopped to look at Caitlin and Kevin and the children. Some people whispered. Caitlin did not care. She had come here to show everyone the truth. Now they knew. "We should go home," Caitlin said. "It is cold." They walked to the parking lot. Kevin followed behind them. Caitlin stopped and turned around. "You can visit tomorrow if you want," Caitlin said. 2:00. "Thank you," Kevin said. Caitlin loaded the children into her Range Rover. Kevin watched them drive away. Then he sat in his car and cried. Not from sadness, from relief. He had finally told the truth. He had finally chosen his children. The next 3 days were difficult for Kevin. His father's law firm called and told him not to come back to work. They fired him. His father's secretary delivered the message. His father would not speak to him directly. Kevin's phone rang constantly. People from town called him. Some people supported him. Some people said he had embarrassed himself and his family. Kevin stopped answering the phone. On January 5th, Kevin went to visit Marcus, Mason, and Maya at 2:00. Rosa opened the door. "They are waiting for you in the living room," Rosa said. Her voice was warmer than before. Kevin walked in. The children were playing with blocks on the floor. Caitlin sat on the couch with her laptop. "Hi," Kevin said. "Dad!" Mason jumped up. It was the first time Mason had called him that. Kevin's eyes filled with tears. "Hi, Mason. What are you building?" "A castle with a dragon tower," Mason said. "Do you want to help?" Kevin sat down on the floor. He helped Mason build. Marcus came over after a few minutes. "Can you help me with my castle too?" Marcus asked. "I want to make a wall around it." "I can help," Kevin said. They built together. Maya sat at the table drawing. After 30 minutes, she brought her sketchbook over to Kevin. "I drew this," Maya said. It was a picture of Kevin building blocks with Mason and Marcus. The drawing was detailed and beautiful. "This is amazing, Maya," Kevin said. "Can I keep it?" Maya nodded. She tore the page out carefully and handed it to him. Kevin held the drawing like it was made of gold. "Thank you. I am going to hang this in my apartment." Maya smiled. After the visit, Kevin asked Caitlin if he could come twice a week instead of once. "You can come Tuesday and Friday afternoons," Caitlin said. 2:00 to 4:00. Kevin agreed immediately. Over the next 2 weeks, Kevin visited 6 times. He was never late. He always showed up. He played with the children. He listened to them talk about school. He helped with homework. He read books to them. On his 7th visit, Kevin asked Caitlin if he could take the children to the beach. "Just for an hour," Kevin said. "I want to build sandcastles with them." Caitlin hesitated. "Rosa will go with you." "Okay," Kevin said. They walked to the beach. It was late January, but not too cold. Marcus, Mason, and Maya ran ahead. Rosa and Kevin followed behind. The children started digging in the sand. Kevin helped them build a large castle. He showed them how to make towers and walls. Mason loved it. He kept adding more towers. "This is the biggest castle ever," Mason shouted. Marcus made a moat around the castle. "We need water for the moat." "I will get some," Kevin said. He took a bucket to the ocean and filled it with water. He poured it into the moat. The water sank into the sand immediately. "We need more," Marcus said. Kevin went back and forth, filling the moat. By the fifth trip, he was out of breath. He sat down in the sand, laughing. "I am out of shape," Kevin said. Mason laughed. "You are tired from carrying water?" "I am old," Kevin joked. "You are not old," Maya said quietly. "You are just not used to the beach yet." Kevin looked at Maya. She was smiling at him. It was the warmest smile she had given him. After an hour, they walked back to the house. The children were covered in sand. Rosa made them take off their shoes outside. Kevin left at 4 o'clock. As he was walking to his car, Rosa stopped him. "That was good," Rosa said. "The children had fun. You are doing well, Kevin." It was the first time Rosa had called him by his first name instead of Mr. Harrison. "Thank you, Rosa," Kevin said. "That means a lot." On Kevin's 8th visit, Marcus asked him a hard question. They were sitting at the kitchen table. Marcus was doing math homework. Kevin was helping him. "Dad, why did you let your parents be mean to our mom?" Marcus asked suddenly. Kevin put down the pencil. He looked at Marcus. "Because I was afraid. I was afraid that if I stood up to them, they would stop loving me. I was afraid they would take away my money and my job and my home. I chose fear over love. I chose myself over your mom. I was wrong." "Are you still afraid?" Marcus asked. Kevin thought about it. "A little, but not as much. Now I am more afraid of losing you than losing anything else." Marcus nodded. He went back to his math homework. He did not say anything else. But Kevin saw that Marcus was thinking about what he said. Mason warmed up to Kevin the fastest. By the 9th visit, Mason ran to hug Kevin when he arrived. Mason showed Kevin everything he built, every block tower, every drawing, every toy. "Dad, look at this! Dad, watch this! Dad, come see!" Kevin loved it. He loved that Mason trusted him so quickly. Maya was slower, but on Kevin's 10th visit, she sat next to him on the couch. She did not say anything. She just sat there, drawing while Kevin read a book to Marcus and Mason. After a while, she leaned against Kevin's shoulder. Kevin froze. He did not move. He did not want to scare her away. Maya stayed there for 10 minutes. Then she got up and went back to her room. Rosa saw it. She told Caitlin later, "Maya is starting to trust him." After Kevin's 11th visit, he asked Caitlin if he could take the children to the park, alone, without Rosa supervising. "I know I have not earned full trust yet," Kevin said, "but I want to show you that I can take care of them. Just for 2 hours. We will go to the park. We will play on the swings. I will bring them back at exactly 4 o'clock. Caitlin looked at him. She saw that he was sincere. She saw that he had shown up consistently for 6 weeks. He had not missed a single visit. He had not been late even once. "I need to think about it," Caitlin said. "I understand," Kevin said. That night, Caitlin sat with Marcus, Mason, and Maya in their playroom. She asked them a question. "How do you feel about your dad?" Mason answered first. "I like him. He is fun. He builds things with me." Maya said, "He is nice. He listens when I talk." Caitlin looked at Marcus. "What about you, Marcus?" Marcus was quiet for a moment. "I think he is trying to be good. He made a big mistake before, but he is trying to fix it." "Do you trust him?" Caitlin asked. Marcus thought about it. "A little bit. More than before." "Would you feel safe if he took you to the park without Rosa or me there?" Marcus looked surprised. "Just us and him?" "Yes." Marcus looked at Mason and Maya. Then he looked back at Caitlin. "I think so. He has not done anything bad. He always brings us back on time. He does not yell. He is not mean." Maya spoke up. "I want him to stay. I do not want him to leave again. Caitlin felt her chest tighten. Her children were starting to love Kevin. They were starting to trust him. She had wanted this for them. But it also scared her. What if Kevin failed them? What if he left again? "Okay," Caitlin said. "I will think about it." The next day, Caitlin called Kevin. "You can take them to the park on Friday. 2 hours. I want them back at exactly 4 o'clock. If you are even 1 minute late, you will never take them anywhere alone again." Kevin's voice shook when he answered, "I will have them back at exactly 4 o'clock. I promise." "Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you for trusting me." "I am not doing this for you," Caitlin said. "I am doing this for them. Do not make me regret it." She hung up. Kevin sat in his apartment holding his phone. Caitlin was giving him a real chance. She was letting him take his children somewhere alone. He could not mess this up. He would not mess this up. Friday arrived. Kevin woke up at 6 in the morning, even though he did not need to pick up the children until 2 o'clock. He could not sleep. He was too nervous and too excited. He cleaned his apartment. He checked his car to make sure it was clean. He made sure he had water bottles and snacks in case the children got hungry. He checked the time every 10 minutes. At 1:45, Kevin drove to the mansion. He arrived at 1:55. He sat in his car for 5 minutes. At exactly 2 o'clock, he walked to the front door and rang the bell. Caitlin answered. Marcus, Mason, and Maya stood behind her wearing jackets and shoes. "We are ready," Mason said. He looked excited. "Remember the rules," Caitlin said to the children. "Stay with your father. Hold his hand in the parking lot. Listen when he tells you something. Be back here at 4 o'clock. "We will, Mom," Marcus said. Caitlin looked at Kevin. 4 o'clock, not 4:01. 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, Kevin repeated. The children walked to Kevin's car. He helped them buckle their seatbelts. Caitlin stood on the porch, watching. Kevin waved at her. She did not wave back. She just watched. Kevin drove carefully to the park. It was a 10-minute drive. The children talked the whole way. "Can we go on the swings?" Mason asked. "Yes," Kevin said. "Can we play on the slides?" Maya asked. "Yes, we can do whatever you want." They arrived at Cape Cod Community Park. Kevin parked the car. He helped the children out. He held Maya's hand. Marcus and Mason walked beside him. The park was not crowded. A few other families were there. Kevin took the children to the playground. Mason ran to the swings. "Push me, Dad!" Kevin pushed Mason on the swing. Mason laughed every time he went high. Marcus wanted to try the monkey bars. Kevin stood underneath in case Marcus fell. Maya wanted to go on the slide. Kevin went down the slide with her. She laughed. "Again!" Maya said. They went down the slide 5 more times. After 30 minutes, they sat on a bench. Kevin gave them water and crackers. They ate and watched other children play. "Dad, can I ask you something?" Marcus said. "You can ask me anything," Kevin said. "Are you going to marry our mom again?" Kevin was surprised by the question. "Your mom and I were never married. And no, I do not think we will get married." "Why not?" Mason asked. "You are our dad. She is our mom. Parents are supposed to be together." Kevin thought carefully about how to answer. "Not all parents live together. Your mom and I are not in love anymore. I hurt her very badly. She does not trust me the way she would need to trust someone to marry them. But that does not mean I am leaving. I will always be your father. I will always be part of your life." "Even if you do not live with us?" Maya asked quietly. "Even if I do not live with you," Kevin said. "Being a father is not about living in the same house. It is about showing up. It is about being there when you need me. I will always show up." Marcus seemed satisfied with that answer. They went back to playing. At 3:45, Kevin said, We need to go back now." "Already?" Mason said. "We just got here." "We have been here for almost 2 hours," Kevin said. "I promised your mom I would have you home at 4 o'clock. I cannot be late." They walked back to the car. Kevin buckled them in. He drove back to the mansion. He pulled into the driveway at 3:58, 2 minutes early. Caitlin was standing on the porch. She had been waiting. Kevin helped the children out of the car. They ran to their mother. "We went on the swings," Mason said. "Dad pushed me really high." "I did the monkey bars all by myself," Marcus said. "We went down the slide 6 times, Maya said. Caitlin looked at Kevin. He checked his watch. It was exactly 4 o'clock. "Thank you for trusting me," Kevin said. Caitlin nodded. "You did what you said you would do." After that day, things changed. Caitlin allowed Kevin to take the children out more often. They went to the beach. They went to get ice cream. They went to the library. Kevin was never late. Not once. Weeks turned into months. Kevin visited Marcus, Mason, and Maya 3 times a week, sometimes 4. He helped with homework. He attended their school events. When Marcus had a school play, Kevin sat in the audience. When Mason built a tower in class that his teacher displayed, Kevin went to see it. When Maya had an art show at school, Kevin was there. Kevin started paying child support. Caitlin did not ask for it. She did not need his money. But Kevin insisted. "I want to contribute," Kevin said. "I want to take responsibility." Caitlin accepted the money, not because she needed it, but because it showed Kevin was serious. 6 months passed. It was now July. The weather was hot and beautiful. Marcus, Mason, and Maya were 6 years old now. They called Kevin Dad all the time. They hugged him when he arrived. They were sad when he left. One afternoon, Marcus asked Caitlin, "Can Dad come to my birthday party?" "It is your party," Caitlin said. "If you want him there, he can come." All 3 children had the same birthday. They were triplets. Caitlin planned a party at the mansion. She invited their classmates and Rose's family. She invited Sarah Mitchell from the bookstore. She did not invite the Harrisons. Kevin came to the party. He brought 3 gifts: a book about space for Marcus, a construction set for Mason, an art kit for Maya. The children loved their gifts. Kevin helped set up tables. He helped serve cake. He played games with the children. He fit in naturally. Some of the parents at the party recognized Kevin from his public confession at the beach 6 months ago. Some of them respected him for it. Others still judged him. Kevin did not care what they thought. He only cared about his children. At the end of the party, Maya hugged Kevin. "Thank you for coming, Dad." "I would not miss it," Kevin said. Meanwhile, Mr. and Mrs. Harrison lived in their smaller house on the other side of Cape Cod. Douglas Harrison's law firm had lost several clients after Kevin's public confession. Some people no longer wanted to work with the Harrison family. The firm was still operating, but it was struggling. Mrs. Harrison rarely left her house anymore. She used to go to the country club every week. Now she went once a month. People whispered when she walked by. Some of her friends stopped inviting her to events. One day, Patricia saw Caitlin at the grocery store. Caitlin was with Marcus, Mason, and Maya. The children were laughing and helping put groceries in the cart. Patricia stood frozen in the aisle. She stared at the children. Her grandchildren. Children she had never spoken to. Children who did not know her. Maya saw Patricia staring. "Mom, why is that lady looking at us?" Caitlin saw Patricia. Their eyes met. Caitlin's face was cold. "She is no one," Caitlin said. "Come on, let us go." They walked past Patricia without saying another word. Patricia stood alone in the grocery store aisle. She felt something she had not felt in a long time: regret. But it was too late. The damage was done. She had lost her son. She had lost her grandchildren. She had lost her reputation. And it was her own fault. Caitlin continued running her business from Cape Cod. She was successful. She was respected. She donated money to local schools. She sponsored scholarships for students of color. She made sure people knew her name for the right reasons. The community embraced her. She was invited to town council meetings. She was asked to speak at events. She was no longer the girl who was thrown out of the Harrison Beach house. She was Caitlin Brooks, successful entrepreneur and devoted mother. One evening, Rosa and Caitlin sat on the deck of the mansion. The children were asleep inside. The ocean was calm. "You did it, Mia," Rosa said. "You built something beautiful." "We did it," Caitlin corrected. "I could not have done any of this without you." Rosa smiled. "The children are happy. They have a father now. They have a home. They have everything they need." "Yes," Caitlin said. "They do." "And what about you?" Rosa asked. "Are you happy?" Caitlin thought about it. "I am not sure I know what happy feels like anymore. But I have peace. I have my children. I have this life I built. That is enough." On a sunny afternoon in late August, Kevin took Marcus, Mason, and Maya to the beach. They were building an enormous sandcastle. It had towers and walls and bridges. It was the biggest castle they had ever made. Caitlin stood on the deck of her mansion watching them. Rosa stood beside her. "He has changed," Rosa said. "He is not the same man who abandoned you." "No," Caitlin agreed. "He is not." "Do you forgive him?" Caitlin was quiet for a long time. "I do not know if I forgive him, but I respect what he has done. He showed up. He kept showing up even when it was hard. He chose them. That matters." Rosa put her hand on Caitlin's shoulder. "You gave him a chance. You gave your children a father. That was the right thing to do." Caitlin watched Marcus laugh at something Kevin said. She watched Mason add another tower to the castle. She watched Maya show Kevin a shell she found. Marcus looked up and saw Caitlin on the deck. He waved. "Mom, come help us." Caitlin walked down to the beach. The sand was warm under her feet. She reached the castle. She knelt down beside her children. "What should I build?" Caitlin asked. "A bridge," Mason said. "We need a bridge connecting these two towers." Caitlin started building a bridge. Kevin worked on the other side. Marcus added details to the walls. Maya decorated the towers with shells and seaweed. They worked together, the five of them, building something together. Caitlin looked at her children. They were laughing. They were safe. They were loved. She had given them everything she promised she would. A life where they knew they belonged. A life where they were enough. This was not the revenge she had imagined 6 years ago when the Harrisons threw her out. She had wanted to destroy them. She had wanted them to suffer. But this was better. This was justice. This was healing. This was a family that chose to rebuild. The sun began to set over Cape Cod. The sky turned orange and pink and purple. The ocean was calm. Marcus, Mason, and Maya played in the sand. Kevin helped them finish the castle. Caitlin sat back and watched. She owned the house that rejected her. She had built a fortune. She had raised 3 incredible children. The people who had hurt her no longer mattered. They had no power over her life. Caitlin Brooks had won, not through revenge, but through resilience, through strength, through love. And that was enough. If you enjoyed today's video, I'm sure you'll love the next one. Don't waste time. Just click on the screen